Chapter 1. Frustration is my motivation. Someone came into my office last week and said, "Ben, I can tell that you are frustrated." Most of the time, we use the word frustrated in a negative sense. Certainly, the frustration I was feeling was negative at that moment. You might be frustrated with your business, your organization, your marriage, or your children. Frustration can dominate your thinking. Everything is aggravating when you see it through the lens of frustration. Nobody wants a frustrating life. We all naturally want to have easy relationships. We all want to have ease in our business, homes, and careers. But I want to introduce you to a new perspective on frustration, because I believe that it is one of the greatest gifts in your life. Frustration is the precursor to innovation. Frustration can birth a vision. Sometimes it is frustration, not necessity, that is the mother of invention. Frustration is a gift. Here's a word from entrepreneur Jordan Schrant about the frustrations that led to what became a hugely successful business.
When I started realizing the truth about natural living, most of which is covered up or marginalized in American culture, I was blown away by the lack of truth that existed. I was tired of the lack of a prevailing voice in our culture that proclaimed truth about health, and I decided to show up and be a part of that voice. Educating, inspiring, and empowering our generation with how to care for their bodies and their families is my passion.
Frustration is the precursor to innovation. But frustration needs to be asked questions. The people who learn the ability to linger when frustration arises, to pause, to look at frustration in the face and ask these questions, those people start something that matters. Think about it. The frustrations littered throughout humanity. Some are more recent, like the frustration we had that our car phone had a cable connected to the car, which meant that you couldn't take the phone with you when you got out. Also, the phone was way too big. Someone sat with the frustration and asked it some questions. Isn't there a way we could detach the car phone from the cable? Can't we miniaturize these things so I can slip it into my pocket? What stands in the way of making this situation better, and what can we do about these challenges? I admire the late Josephine Cochrane. In the late 1800s, Josephine was frustrated every night when her servants washed her china plates. It took such a long time, and inevitably breakages would happen. She had to cope with the frustration, the irritation, the pain of broken dishes. Josephine sat and listened to that frustration, sat opposite it at a well-worn table and asked questions of her frustration. And thankfully, frustration coughed up its secrets, and Josephine Cochrane came up with the concept of the dishwasher. Many of us never think about how someone had to encounter frustration in order for us to enjoy something we now thank the Lord Jesus for every day. Our children are loading and emptying the dishwasher for us. Hey, I do it, you do it too, I know you do. We take for granted the work, the pioneer, and even the frustration behind it all, because that frustration led to something amazing. Thomas Edison, who sat across that same table of frustration, he, like everyone else around the world at the time, had to sit in dark every night dealing with open flames in his home. It frustrated him.